All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to a brand new explainer right here on Servan. Today, we're cracking open an absolutely wild investigative expose into a massive supply chain secret, and it's literally been sitting right in plain sight. Seriously, if you've ever walked out to your driveway, looked at your car, and noticed those foggy, yellowed, completely opaque headlights, you know the exact frustration we're talking about. You've probably been told you need a really expensive repair at a body shop or a pricey store-bought kit, or maybe even a whole new headlight assembly. But what if the source material we're looking at today proves that the auto industry has deliberately buried a permanent fix that costs about $1? Today, we're going to explore the fascinating history, the undeniable science, and the staggering economics of a simple white powder that the aftermarket auto industry was really hoping you would never find out about.
Our source makes a really powerful point right out of the gate. Think about it. Professional detailers and body shops are out there charging anywhere from $150 to $300 a pair just to restore your headlights. And auto parts stores, they're happy to sell you $30 to $60 DIY kits that, let's be honest, usually cloud right back up in 6 months anyway. But according to the data, there is a microscopic compound that does the job permanently, and it does it for pennies. So why on earth aren't mechanics telling you about this? Well, it boils down to this idea. An immediate, permanent fix that doesn't require a technician or a reoccurring warranty simply cannot be monetized. And in big business, what can't be monetized gets buried.
To really get why this is happening, we gotta follow the money. $1.5 billion. That's a billion with a B. That is the estimated annual value of the headlight restoration industry in the US alone. That staggering number includes body shop labor, those branded restoration kits, UV sealant sprays, and repeat service contracts. When you've got a $1.5 billion economy relying entirely on temporary fixes and recurring revenue, a $1 permanent solution isn't just a quirky alternative product, it's a direct threat to that entire revenue stream.
Which brings us to Section 1, the plastic problem, and a very costly switch.
So if you drive a classic car, or you've just seen one around, you might have noticed something. The headlights are usually perfectly clear. That's because before 1992, most vehicle headlights were actually made of glass. And glass is naturally resistant to ultraviolet radiation, meaning a glass headlight could easily last the entire lifetime of the vehicle without ever turning cloudy. But in 1992, the auto industry switched almost every single production line over to polycarbonate plastic. Now, the official reason given was safety, because polycarbonate is lighter and more shatter-resistant. But the massive, undeniable secondary benefit was cost. It's just dramatically cheaper to mold at a factory scale. But here's the catch. This switch introduced a fatal weakness. Polycarbonate is highly vulnerable to UV light.
Let's actually look at the science of why this happens. It all comes down to a process called photooxidation. Basically, every single day, the sun attacks the surface of your polycarbonate headlights. This UV radiation triggers a chain reaction that literally degrades the plastic right at the molecular level. Over a period of, say, 3 to 5 years, the thin, factory-applied UV coating just flakes away. Then, microscopic pits and tiny fractures start to form on the surface of the plastic. Moisture seeps into those microfractures, trapping dirt and debris inside. And the end result? That terribly familiar, ugly yellow haze that makes your headlights look 15 years older than the rest of your car.
Now you might be thinking, okay, so my car looks a little old, it's just a cosmetic annoyance, right? Well, actually, no. The data shows it's way more serious than that. A 2021 study from the AA Foundation for Traffic Safety tested vehicles with degraded headlights against brand new factory lenses, and the results are pretty alarming. The degraded headlights produced only 22% of the light output compared to a new lens. That means a massive 78% of your headlight power is just being absorbed and completely blocked by a layer of oxidized plastic that's thinner than a sheet of paper. The study even found that this leads to stopping visibility distances up to 40% shorter at night. So this isn't just ugly. This is a severe safety hazard that the industry is actively profiting from rather than permanently solving.
So what's the solution? Let's move to Section 2, a century-old secret, cerium oxide.
Here's the crazy part. This compound we're talking about, cerium oxide, is definitely not some late-night infomercial gimmick. It actually has an incredible pedigree. Way back in 1803, a rare earth cluster was discovered in a mine in Sweden, which eventually led to the isolation of this pure white oxide named cerium oxide. By the early 1900s, opticians realized this fine chalky powder had a miraculous property. When you mix it with water, it polishes glass without scratching it. In 1917, it was used to finish the massive mirror on the Hooker Reflector Telescope in California. Literally, the mirror Edwin Hubble used to prove the universe was expanding. And fast forward a bit, while the auto industry was busy switching to cheap plastic headlights in 1992, NASA was actively using cerium oxide in 1993 to finish the corrective optics for the Hubble Space Telescope.
Just think about that contrast for a second. We're talking about a compound that is the primary finishing agent for precision glass worldwide. It's trusted to polish legendary Zeiss camera lenses. It was relied upon by military contractors to flawlessly polish submarine periscopes during World War II. Surgeons literally depend on it for the crystal clarity of their operating room microscopes, and NASA trusts it for space exploration. Yet, while it's utilized for the most advanced scientific applications known to humanity, the auto industry looks at the foggy sedan sitting in your driveway and says absolutely nothing.
That brings us to Section 3, the science of clarity, and the molecular mechanics behind it.
To understand why this stuff actually works permanently, we have to look at some studies from 1998 and 2006 on what's called chemical mechanical polishing. You see, when you apply cerium oxide with water and gentle friction, it doesn't work like sandpaper. Sandpaper just grinds material away, layer by layer, which actually creates more microscratches. Instead, cerium oxide triggers what researchers call a tribochemical reaction. It chemically reacts with the surface layer, dissolving the damaged material, while simultaneously bonding with the surface to fill in those microscopic pits and fractures we talked about earlier. It's creating a structural repair at the molecular level, depositing a smooth, completely uniform finish. And this lines up perfectly with a 2018 report from Consumer Reports. They found that every single over-the-counter headlight restoration kit they tested showed significant rehazing within 6 to 12 months. Why? Because those branded kits rely on sandpaper discs and a temporary UV sealant that just sits on top of the plastic. It's literally engineered to fail on a cycle, so you have to buy it again. Compare that to cerium oxide. Because it executes a permanent, structural repair of the plastic surface itself, a single application outlasts every branded kit on the shelf by years, not months.
All right, Section 4, the economics of the secret. Let's follow the money again.
Because this number is literally jaw-dropping. 15 cents. Seriously. A standard 50-gram bag of cerium oxide powder costs between $1 and $3 online, and because you only need a tiny amount mixed with water, that single bag contains enough compound for 8 to 12 full headlight restorations. So, when you do the math, the actual cost per headlight pair drops down to roughly 15 to 25 cents. I mean, contrast that 15-cent permanent fix with paying $150 at a body shop or $40 for a store-bought kit that's just going to turn yellow again by next summer. It's wild.
When you look at the profit margins, the whole mystery just completely unravels. You can't patent cerium oxide. It's been in the public domain since the 1800s. Therefore, a corporation's profit margin on this raw powder is effectively zero. Meanwhile, the profit margin on branded, temporary headlight restoration kits exceeds 400%. And the profit margin on body shop headlight services, once you factor in cheap labor and fast turnover, that exceeds 1,000%. The fact is, you simply cannot build a recurring revenue model or a lucrative subscription service on a cheap, public domain powder that actually works permanently.
And that brings us right back to our core thesis. The entire headlight restoration economy depends on one vital condition. You, the customer, must not know this powder exists. The automotive aftermarket industry didn't stop recommending cerium oxide because it failed to work on modern polycarbonate headlights. No, they stopped telling you about it because it worked way too well. It destroys their business model. When your fix is permanent and costs essentially nothing, you transition from being a reliable, recurring customer into a direct threat to their bottom line.
So, let's get practical in our final section, the $1 fix, a DIY restoration.
Here is exactly how you do this yourself, and honestly, the whole process takes under 15 minutes. First, just wash your headlight with normal soap and water, dry it off, and throw some masking tape around the edges so you don't mess up your car's paint. Next, take 1 tablespoon of that cerium oxide powder and mix it with 2 tablespoons of water in a small container. You're just making a thin paste. Apply that paste to the lens using a microfiber cloth or a polishing pad. Now, here is where the absolute magic happens. Rub the paste in firm, circular motions for about 3 to 5 minutes. You will physically see the paste change color right in front of you. It goes from bright white to this yellowish-brown color as it chemically lifts the oxidation layer completely off the polycarbonate. Then, just wipe off the residue, inspect your work, and if there's any haze left, give it one more quick pass. Finally, rinse it clean. Now, while cerium oxide creates a highly UV-resistant surface all on its own, you can totally add a clear coat spray at the end if your car just bakes in direct sunlight all year.
So, it all boils down to this. The switch to polycarbonate plastic created a massive problem, and an entire industry rose up to temporarily cure it over and over again. But now that you know the science and the crazy economics behind cerium oxide, the choice is yours. Are you going to keep paying hundreds of dollars for temporary fixes that are literally engineered to fail? Or will you take 15 minutes and use the permanent $1 solution they desperately hoped you'd never find? I want to thank you so much for joining me for this explainer right here on Servon. If you found this break